There's been growing pushback against the Food and Drug Administration's approval last week of a second generic version of the abortion drug mifepristone. The decision was made just weeks after President Trump's health officials told concerned Republicans on Capitol Hill that they were conducting a review of the safety of mifepristone. Well, at the end of the week, I spoke with Senator Roger Marshall, Dr. Marshall of Kansas, for my weekend program this week on Capitol Hill. And this is what Dr. Marshall, who has practiced medicine for 25 years, he's an OB-GYN, he's delivered more than 5,000 babies. I want you to hear part of that conversation.
Boy, this is disturbing news from the FDA. You know, I never, of course, prescribed those pills, but I took care of the complications. So women would go to Wichita, get these pills prescribed, they come back, and lo and behold, they're having complications. About 11% of women have complications from these drugs, these abortion pills. They have hemorrhaging, infection, sepsis are the three main problems. And what no one tells them is they're going to have a lot of pain and cramping as well. So it is very concerning what's going on. And certainly, I'm asking the FDA to step up this review process.
Yeah, I mean, that was just 3 weeks ago. The Secretary of Health and Human Services said that they're going to look at this. There was another announcement about it, but yet the approval in the 11th hour before a government shutdown is like they got this across the threshold to approve a generic version, making it cheaper, clearly expanding it and creating more of a conflict among the states, because we now have states like New York and California mailing these into pro-life states. In fact, the Attorney General of Louisiana this week issuing an arrest warrant for a doctor in California.
Yeah, you know, Tony, there's no other drug out there that would be allowed to be prescribed without a doctor seeing them in person, a drug with this many side effects. So this is the abortion industry came in under Joe Biden and allowed this to be prescribed like candy, right? Without seeing a doctor in person. You know, and here's my concern. So beyond just the side effects of this drug, women are typically off a month on their dates, how far along they are. The further you are along in this pregnancy, the bigger chance of the drug failing not to cause the abortion. These are Category X drugs and cause significant fetal anomalies fairly commonly. So, you know, one more piece of the picture that's not being documented, one more reason why we need to demand an ultrasound be done before these abortion pills are prescribed. And again, I'm a little bit shocked that this came out at the 11th hour as well. And already today, I've got my phone calls out to the FDA and asking what's happening here.
And Dr. Marshall, to the underlying issue that you bring up, the policies were changed during the Biden administration during COVID, telemedicine, and no in-person consultation. That's been changed for pretty much everything else but the abortion pill. That policy remains in effect, and for the most part, undermines what Dobbs recognized, and that was the Dobbs decision from the Supreme Court, recognizing that the states have the right to pass pro-life laws. That's being undermined by this federal policy.
Exactly. And certainly we'd like to think that President Trump has been the most pro-life president we've ever seen. Thank goodness for the Supreme Court nominees that he was able to appoint. I think that was divine that he was able to do that. But this policy is kind of something that needs to be addressed by the administration. And I've been patient. You've been patient. I really think we need to take the next couple of weeks. Your listeners, you, me, all of our friends up here on Capitol Hill need to put pressure on FDA to say what is going on with this? Why are we allowing this drug to be prescribed without an in-person visit with a physician, as well as an ultrasound being done? This is not candy that they're handing out. This is a serious drug with potentially life-threatening complications.
Yeah, and folks, if you'd like to weigh in on this, you can text the word LIFE to 67742. That's LIFE to 67742. All right, Senator, just have a little over a minute left. I want to get your thoughts on the government shutdown. I know a lot of conversations taking place between senators. Do you see movement?
I don't see anything in sight right now. And the difference between this and others is that this is absolutely a political shutdown, that Chuck Schumer is responding to AOC, the Marxist left, the radical national media has pushed him into this corner, forcing him to do this. So he's got to wait until AOC and Bernie and the national media say, okay, you've taken this hostage long enough. Now it's go ahead and time to open the government back up right now. So we're waiting to see who blinks first. I don't think this is a policy issue. I think it's political, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. 20 seconds left. Do the Democrats pay a political price for this?
Well, I do. I think every day Americans wake up and realize that, a shutdown is not such a good idea as well. I think that they're going to have to shoot the hostage over these ACA COVID-era subsidies. Again, COVID-era subsidies that need to end sooner than later. So I think every day the Democrats go down this hill, and more Americans are disgruntled with them. Their favorability rating is 19% now, an all-time low.
All right, Dr. Marshall, thanks so much for joining us.